Chris.
That's a good start, Bonnie. Hey.
Thanks.
We are blocking in
Uh-huh.
a Palm Springs Nocturne. This
I have
particular
never
photo.
painted a night scene, I have to tell you.
Oh,
I'm so scared.
no.
I need
Nocturnes are
help.
fun.
Okay.
No, everything is kind of dark and intense, and you get the opportunity to make little pops of really, really bright light. And the variation in the foreground, forms, shapes, buildings, trees, is minimal. And you can really play around with some of your mark making, and that doesn't really work out the same way with the same effect for other times of the day as far as landscapes go. This particular piece here, I think it was in January, and I was talking to mutual friend Brandy, and I said, "Oh, I will send you an image. We just pulled in tonight to this RV park near Palm Springs, and I made a little postcard with it, and I remember sending it. And then when you asked me for a palm tree image this morning, I had a whole bunch from Florida, but I wasn't crazy about more palm trees with the blue sky. And I was really looking for something with a sunrise, sunset, or a nocturne. And I remembered I had this one. So I went and dug this one out of the archives.
I think this is great because I might be able to actually do this one. I don't know. I'm just trying to do what you're doing right now. I do not know what I'm doing. I'm just basically scribbling on this wood today.
Yeah. I don't know if viewers can see, but I have a little bit of dirty windshield and sky up here. And that's because I have to paint out of my car once again. Because I get such a shit signal where I'm painting. And I've had so many other YouTube videos like this and podcasts that have failed because of the connection over there that I have to drive and broil in this treeless Walmart parking lot. And I've looked for other spaces that have trees. However, they're in really bizarre areas with a lot of noise. So I kind of have to keep coming back here, which is frustrating as shit. I like the fact that you're working on such an intense orange background today, though.
Thank you.
It's probably because you had a really intense morning.
No, it's because that's the only paint I had left in my house. I left all the acrylics at the market, and I left all the brushes at the market.
Wait, what market are you talking about, Bonnie?
Garden District Marketplace at 2855 Magazine Street, New Orleans, 70 something something something.
Oh, well.
I know, right?
Thanks for everyone.
That's exactly where I was.
Letting everyone know, yeah.
I keep oil set up at home. Help me out, Chris. What is that you're laying in there in your little background? Is that a...
Well, I'm using cobalt. I'm using cobalt and magenta in order to make violet. And I think because I'm using really kind of a pale Naples yellow underpainting, that I want to use violet, and then when I get to my thicker paint, I'll begin to blue it out, and I'll use a more intense blue over this violet here. So right now I'm just trying to scrub over some of these lines
as well, because
What are you using for your red, though?
I don't know what this is. It's horrible, though, whatever this is. It just made it look... I just made a brown. I could be using phthalo blue. Maybe I should use ultramarine. And, okay, I have naphtha, red medium, and I have rose madder. And I have ultramarine.
Okay, you need rose. You need rose madder and and ultramarine is going to get you.
Okay, thank you for that.
The
as you know, I haven't used
proper intensity.
I haven't used these paints. I haven't used these colors yet. I'm just using.
Is this your first time using oil paint in our videos?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and then I didn't have time to look at our picture.
Step.
I think this is great because I'm showing you guys that you just jump in. You can do this. You know?
Yes.
Just jump in. It's okay. Get a blue, get a purple, get a red, make a blue. You got this. I am your idiot spirit animal. I am everybody's idiot spirit animal.
Bonnie,
I was busy.
I'm really, I really want to hear your toilet story while you're mixing your color here.
I am. Okay. I have been busy with replacing the toilets in my house because when we bought the house a very long time ago, it was after Katrina, right after Katrina, and anything that had been through Katrina was just like pieced together with garbage at the time because there weren't any supplies. You know that. And so our toilets looked like prison toilets for the last. They looked like the toilets at the French market. You know how bad the toilets at the French market are.
Yeah.
It's like going to OPP.
They are legit.
Legit gross.
The prison toilets that you see on TV are all over New Orleans for their public.
Yeah.
Toilets.
And it's like you think about it and you're like, why? Why? It is the number one draw. It's the first thing people go to when they come to the city. And what do they go? They go to a prison toilet. Service with a smile. Okay, I mixed something. Now I'm going to try to hatch it in. What do you think of that? Oh, that's nice.
Good. Yeah. Definitely because you're using the the bright orange. You can leave some streaks and lines in the background and let the underpainting show through. And I'm using a small brush now because I'm trying to not have too many knife lines. I'm trying to use a majority of brush on this piece today. And I don't know if I can pull it off. Oh, so you got new toilets and one of them was the wrong size or something?
One of them was the wrong size because everything is plumbed crazy because of Katrina. You just used what you had. You made do. Katrina taught a lot of people here how to survive on just their own intuition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you buy a house like that, though, there's just so many. It's not just, nothing's an easy fix. It's always like some kind of ordeal. Something always has to be brought back.
Well, I'm glad that you made it through.
I did. I made it through. I'm putting in this, I'm really messing this painting up, but I'm not worried about it.
No. Just make all that really kind of uniform, kind of violet blue sky. I try to make independent shapes within such a large flat color so that I can go and try to define once I start laying on thicker paint some of the regions that I want to have hue variation in.
No idea what you're telling me, but yeah, go on with your bad self, Chris. Tell me all about the hue variation.
Well, you most likely go from a lighter violet that has more of your rose matter and more white towards your horizon line, and as you move up, you're going to have less and less and less rose matter, more of your ultramarine blue and less of the white, and you can even get away with using, possibly, if you're going to go just a little bit into the green spectrum for the trees and add a little bit of yellow to the blue, green at the very top and at the very bottom might balance it a little bit as well. I don't think I can do that because I only have a cad yellow deep on my palette today. I have my Nocturne colors, which for me are cobalt, magenta, cad deep, and then titanium white and Payne's gray. And I get a pretty full range of the tones and the very low-key colors that you see at night with this. Although, I mean, I think that's why I prefer to paint Nocturnes on either a really brilliantly primed yellow piece or something that has like a Naples yellow or that's very, very light colored, because then I can use that where I really need that pop of yellow. And when I put down the dark color over it, I want to make sure it's scratchy, so then I can take the back of my brush, and I like eliminating some of the paint and lightening it up and putting a little bit of direction in there. Okay. So essentially the park that I am staying in has terrible signal and has some really interesting denizens this year. We've been coming here for the last 5 years to this particular spot outside of Billings, Montana. And yes, I've been accosted for a lot of rides into town this summer, and we thought that there'd be, because we just got a puppy, we thought that there were going to be all these little dogs walking around, because the previous years, a lot of like retirees and families with dogs were always walking around, and there was just like, it was, our puppy still hasn't gotten her shots yet, so it's not like we can do too much socializing, but I wanted her to maybe get used to the sounds of other dogs, and there are hardly any dogs, but there are a lot of people who look like they have dogs, like
what does that
junkyard dogs.
Ooh, junkyard dogs.
Let's just say the particular style is wearing dog collars. So it's a little bit of a throwback to the 90s, early 2000s fashion.
Many people are wearing them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought we were going to see doggos wearing dog collars just around the park.
It's just people. You know, that's very, isn't that punk? That's from the punk time. I made a little mistake, and I kind of want to get rid of it real quick. I wonder if I can. You know how I like to get rid of stuff. Are you still there? Oh no, I think we got. Chris. Chris.
I'm sort of back. Hello.
Hello. Are you going to patch this thing together? Because I think you can. I didn't do much. I erased something and then, yeah, right? This is still good. Okay, good.
Yes, I was, a very long story short, I was just sort of lamenting the fact that everyone has a much bigger dog than we do, and everyone looks a lot tougher than me because they're all wearing like dog collars and wife beaters. So
yikes!
Yeah.
It's
just a little intimidating. I thought it was going to be a whole bunch of pensioners with their little white dogs again. You know,
babe. Let me tell you
the little
something.
tiny football dogs that you can.
You'll be fine. I'll tell you why. Those are some of the best people you're ever going to meet. You know that. You've been here in New Orleans, and the people with those extreme looks are usually the coolest, sweetest, kindest people. They probably played Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, I don't want to play D&D with those people.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
They would eat me. They would eat me alive, Bonnie.
How so?
Because I become so sort of soft ever since I left the city. I've become way too West Coast.
You got to understand, we are not. I want everybody to know. I look demure, but I turn into an animal within like microseconds. You know that. You've seen me.
Quite animalistic, yeah.
You've got to let people know sometimes here in New Orleans your boundaries up front, because they will cross them quickly too, won't they?
It has been my experience, yeah.
They just can't help themselves here. So I put my little tree lines back in, and I'm going to now put my background back in. Well, let me think about the things I wanted to tell you. What happens when I'm getting set up for this is that I had such a crazy morning with the plumbers. First of all, I partied last night. I had friends over, and I got the music going, and you know I don't drink, but last night, oh snap.
Was everyone using social distancing, Bonnie?
Yes, in the backyard. Yes. We had our close friends over. Ben and Lee.
In the very warm backyard with all the bugs?
It was a gorgeous night last night. And
oh yeah?
Yes, it was a gorgeous night last night, and the palmetto bugs were not flying. They were not out last night. It was weird, and the pool was perfect. And Ben and Libby are 70. So when I say I partied, I mean, I didn't really party. You know, they're hippies. Yeah. They had the coolest video store here before Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
They had the only real video store. If you wanted to see a cool film, here for the longest time, the only way you were going to see it was if you went to Ben and Libby's shop and got it. They had it for like 30 years. I think it was called like Video Alternatives or something like that.
They sound familiar. I'm not sure if I ever met them though.
I went to Japan with them.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know why
Japan
they sound familiar.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like my husband's adopted parents. His parents died young.
Yeah.
Well, his mom didn't die young, but his mother did die though, right after Katrina, like right during Katrina. So he had to go to California and take care of her.
Mm-hmm.
So Ben and Libby are like adopted type thing, and we get together like once a month, and of course we make sure that everything is very safe for them because they are older and we have to be really, really careful with them. So they sit outside, they sit more than 6 feet away from us. We order takeout and have it delivered. There's a back bathroom at the very back by the back door of our house. And so I totally disinfect that before they come. I'm just trying to do everything I can to keep from getting people I love sick.
Well,
and still see them,
That's really awesome.
want to spend time. Yeah. And I love having people over, that.
Mm-hmm.
And I DJ'd. It was good. I did not let Chris play his music. I made everybody listen to like progressive calypso. They loved it. It was great.
Whoa. What would progressive calypso be?
Well, it'd be like more modern. I mean, I started out with like 50s calypso, and then
Calypso? Is that like I'm drawing a blank on who the guy's name was. He did part of the soundtrack for that movie in the 80s, Beetlejuice. We're talking Harry Belafonte type? I
just don't know. I just don't know.
Oh, you don't know the names?
No.
You just know the tunes.
I just know the tunes. I have access to so much music because of Chris that I can't keep up with who everybody is. But I try to find females because that's just how I am. And there's some really great music out there by women that has never really been put in the spotlight because, again, they're women. Probably more so because they're women of color. It's like that. So I try to I'm always searching for those amazing women throughout history who have done incredible things. And I want to listen to them. I want to hear what they were working on, But I think that's just because of the way I was raised. I just wasn't raised around men. So I don't really care what men think. Isn't that great? Then I went to an all-girls school.
Yes.
And we didn't care what any man thinks. And I know that's bad, but I don't know if it's bad or not. I think it's good. I mean, I think it's good. I'm not sure if I don't care what anybody else thinks, but whatever.
Yeah.
I found this really great gray, and I think I'm going to stick with it. I'm doing like a gray-black thing right here. I'm trying to see what you're doing.
I'm not sure what I'm doing, actually.
Yeah.
I'm using a smaller brush now, and I'm really trying to resist the temptation to put a lot of marks with the palette knife on. I want to use more smaller brush strokes, I think, and then I want to use the back of my brush to scrape a little bit if I can.
What kind of greens are you mixing in there? Can you tell me? I see you're doing I've got to start working in on these trees.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm
what
a little
you perceive
stumped.
right now as green is actually just gray. It's like a Payne's gray with just a little bit of the cad yellow deep. Nope, it's just a little bit of the cad yellow deep and the titanium white added to it.
And I think I just made something that I don't have cad yellow deep on my palette. I have yellow ochre.
It's essentially
a
kind of a lighter orange.
I have Shiva orange. That's what I'm using. I added Shiva orange.
Shiba orange?
Shiva
I don't
orange.
think I've ever. I don't know what that.
It's a Ricin color. Yeah, these are Ricin colors. It's a pretty color. So mine aren't like the same, you know.
Yeah. So Shiba like the cat food?
No, like
there's a
sorry,
queen
I'm
Shiba,
trying to get
right?
my strokes. Yes, like it from India.
So
The Shiva like from India.
oh, Shiva. I thought you said Sheba, like Shiba, like.
No, yeah. I know.
Oh, Shiva. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
That's different.
Yeah. I had something else that went on this week too, but there's so much going on. I don't even.
Yeah.
It's like to paint and do this at the same time because, well, you know, everybody's more experienced than me, so you guys can definitely do this so much easier than me, you know.
It doesn't matter how much you perceive you've done in painting.
I feel so behind all the time with you guys.
Don't.
I'm just trying to catch up.
No, it's
And
always a challenge. And
so ahead.
No, anytime another person who's painting with you thinks that they have it all figured out and that they're ahead.
Mm-hmm. Do people really think that?
Some people
they
I've
just
met
sit around,
think that.
Hey, I'm ahead. Really?
Well,
they just look at other people and go, look at me, I'm ahead. That's what people
do. What's that
That's
psychological
silly.
effect? Dunning-Kruger effect, where you just have this kind of false confidence about what you're doing. Some people have that.
Oh. I have confidence. I don't know.
I certainly don't. All you have to do is have the confidence to start, and everything else can be scary and weird, and you can go through all the phases you want, but it's important just to do it. And whenever I've gotten too complacent, or I've looked at what I've done and said, you know what, Chris, this isn't bad. It's always when I've created an absolute piece of bullshit. And those pieces are always the ones that you take a look at and you're like, oh yeah.
That's
really
crap,
groundbreaking Chris. On that one. That's definitely going to sell, won't it?
You, aren't I? I know I'm such a jerk sometimes to you because I know when you're phoning it in. I have seen enough of your paintings. Yeah. I know when you're painting from your head and not looking at something. I know that. And I'm not trying to. I just thought by now you and I would be a team and would be doing these crazy paintings that like the Louvre wants us to come and, you know, I just saw us a little bit more differently than I thought.
When we're in our 70s, let's have this conversation again.
Yeah. Well, let's make enough money in life so that we can do this. Cause I think we between the two of us, my brains and your technical skills, my design eye and your technical skills, I feel like we could be setting the art world on fire. And when I see these other people setting the art world on fire, I'm happy for them. But at the same time, I'm like, well, why aren't I know Chris and I could be doing this, but we'd have to do it together.
Not this size field that you think it is. Sometimes I think that people are under the misconception that there are millions and millions of artists who are all competing in the U.S. for everyone's attention, and that there are all these super successful people.
No,
blah, blah, blah.
When I see Kuntz making all of that money, I actually get miffed. I get
pissed.
Okay.
here's the most recent breakdown that I've seen.
And then he has like hundreds of people working for him.
That's okay.
It is okay. And he's
okay.
Sweet as can be. But still, it's like, why isn't it me?
So, Bonnie, about 1% of the population is involved in the arts. So,
I know.
Sculpture, painting, illustration. So it's around 2 million people, I guess. And that's out of over 350 million people in the U.S. So that's not a big number. Now, of those people, the vast majority of those people are employed, which means that they're not self-employed artists. Self-employed fine artist painters, I think, are... I read some kind of figure from 2018, and it was around 29,000. Of those 29,000, only a third claimed more than $10,000 for their primary business. So that means that people making a living wage, doing painting and really putting themselves out there are so few of us out there that
after I
it's
did
not
my
quite.
Taxes, oh my God, I've been paying to have a job this whole year. I've been paying to have a job. I could do nothing and make the same amount of money.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what my sales were. You could look at my sales and be like, oh, she's a success. But when it comes to down to the fact that I have to pay a lease everywhere I sell my work, and these people are so money hungry and unforgiving, it's like, I don't want to, you can only lose money for so long. You can't just lose money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The IRS is only going to let you lose so much money for so many years. It's just like, but when you get to you think you're doing okay because, the phone bill gets paid, but when you do your taxes at the end of the year, it's a humbling experience because you're like, all those sleepless nights, all of those hours that I had to set up, the shoulder problems, the backaches, the not sleeping, the terrible weather, all of that, it adds up. And then you're like, oh my God, I worked for nothing. My income was $12,000 after all of my expenses. That's crazy.
Well, you're doing better than...
I'm doing $2,000 better
than 2/3 of the other people who are professional painters in the U.S.
God.
I have no idea if those numbers are even accurate, but something tells me that they're closer to the truth than further from it.
They are closer to. They have to be, because I keep track of all that stuff because I was a terrible accountant. I was not a tax accountant ever, so I go and have someone do it. Of course, I pay people who are smart. I don't think that I'm smart enough to do my own taxes. No. No. I don't know why I don't know why I went to accounting school. It was clearly not for me.
There was something I read a while back as well that was speaking on the visibility of fine artists on Instagram and working with the algorithm. It depended on your following and a few other different vector numbers for the way that people interacted with your account. But essentially, when you're on there and you are looking for new artists, or you're looking for specific things like paintings, fine art paintings, landscape paintings, it really narrows down. And essentially, the people getting viewed are around the same 600 people.
Yeah, so I know. I can tell. I'm watching, and they're paying for people to post them. Did you know that? I keep getting all of these people that are like, we could, all of those things that I follow. Like, you'll follow this thing, and you'll think these are really great paintings, but it's not the actual artist you're following. You're following someone who's curating that, and then they're actually charging those artists to be on there. I just realized that, and I'm like, I'm not playing that game.
That's a thing.
And I'm unfollowing all of that. I want to follow artists. I don't want to follow a curator. Yeah. I know I'm going to get in a lot of trouble today.
Oh.
I already attacked Kuntz, who I think is adorable and fantastic, but wish I was him. I can't get these palm trees.
Sometimes you have no control what comes out of your face when you are mixing and painting. And speaking to someone with whom you have a certain level of comfort.
Well, it doesn't matter anyway, because we're allowed to talk shit about anyone we want.
This is a podcast.
And
if no one has called us out on any of the questionable things that we've said before,
why not keep going?
Especially in IRL, in real life,
I'll be so happy when he invites us over to his studio.
Maybe
he'll let us interview him. Kuntz. He's a pop artist. Yeah. He's so famous. Every time I go to New York, there's like a documentary about. He's just super.
I need to get better at my interview skills then.
Really?
Because I still do a lot of so. Because I don't have questions in front of me, the frequency of my intercediary statements is rather high. It's higher than I want it to be. And it's difficult to eliminate that. I'm doing my best.
Have a problem. I don't have a problem with talking to people like that, because I don't really care what they think about me. I'm not going to lose any sleep over the interview if I'm trying to be as kind as possible and considerate. Then I have to, I'm going to be kind, but I'm not going to talk about art anyway, probably. I'll probably talk about sandwiches, I will definitely get away from the whole point, right? So it's not going to be a problem, I don't really care about a lot of things that other people care about. So that can make interviewing someone a lot easier.
I think I just fucked up the lights, but I really...
Are you even looking at mine? Mine is so scary.
No, well, you're patching in areas of color around your trees still. You have decided to kind of take the green a little bit more literally from the reference photo in your trees, which I think means that you have to be a little bit more careful with the paint you put around them. With me, I chose to
just keep it all gray.
Kind of keep it all gray and just try to put all the emphasis on the lights below and this one sort of very large palm tree shape in the foreground that comes down and touches the bottom of the picture plane there.
Well, I don't have a Payne's gray, so each time I'm having to mix everything. I'm having to mix every single thing with 2 to 3 colors to get just a color, and it may not even be the right color.
Some people feel as though if they pre-mix colors for their landscape, then they can move the paint off of the palette quicker onto the surface.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really feel that way. I feel if I'm able to mix very small pools of color that I can scrape up quickly and make a little pile with, and then figure out where to use it all the way around, that is a more efficient use of my time, and that wiping things out, scraping things out, or adjusting small bits of color is a lot easier than trying to figure out where to put colors that you've already mixed from your palette.
I still haven't figured out. I got mail. I'm sorry, I had to leave. Somebody knocked on the door. I still have to figure out. Are you still there?
I'm still here. I'm doing some scraping.
Good. Are you? Don't be upset that I did that. I'm back, everybody. But I had FedEx. I like this nighttime painting. I just made this really beautiful brown gray, and I'm gonna see if I can try to get some palm tree out of that. Like, I'm gonna try.
You're doing a really good job leaving the ground, that kind of really intense orange that you initially put onto your board.
I don't like my brushes. My brushes are giving me fits.
Brushes are a sore topic for me. I see a lot of other people out there promoting.
They're becoming a sore topic for me.
A lot of different brushes that just fall the fuck apart on me, that I don't get why people like these things in the first place. To me still, and hey, this is just my opinion, and my opinion should count for what it's really worth, which is nothing.
Nothing.
I really, really still enjoy the Mala brushes from IKEA.
Yeah.
The kids' craft brushes take acrylic paint, gouache paint, oil paint, and they put it onto the surface. They're a shorter handle, so you kind of have to choke up a little bit when you're using them, but they're a good size. They make the direction of the stroke more important than the actual drawing of the stroke. And they do really well with compression. When you're mixing or when you're scrubbing on a panel or a canvas, they maintain their shape a lot longer than other brushes happen to. And I cannot say enough good stuff about some of the lowest priced brushes you can find. Once again, this is not a paid endorsement.
No, not for IKEA. Since we can never get to one anyway, they don't even ever have them.
Yeah. Well, I am fortunate enough that everywhere I travel, my wife will find a way to get to an IKEA 2 or 3 times a year. Not like we have space for anything.
No.
But she plans sometimes where we're going because, oh yeah, we're going to be near an IKEA there. So wait a second. Why are we going to IKEA? Well, you need some brushes, and I thought maybe I could get. I said, and it's always a full day event to go to this place too.
Of course it is.
Well,
I'm still, yeah.
You're still plugging away at this.
Yes.
I think this was a good little introduction for you in oil to doing a Nocturne. And wow, now there's a really loud diesel truck next to me. And I think I'm going to go ahead and sign mine. And you can work on yours a little bit more. And
I'm going to work on mine.
Let me know later what you finish with. And
oh God, I might be scrubbing some stuff out. I'm super frustrated with the palm trees right now.
Then we can post this to the Grum.
Okay.
And I just completely lost my G there.
Oh, I'm watching you sign it too.
There we go.
All right, you did it.
In all of its glory. It's not good. I'm not going to pretend like it's a good painting. However, I was able to control myself because recently I've been going really heavy with the paint. So I like how there's some more variation and some scratch work. And don't forget to use the back of your brush, Bonnie.
I am really messing this up. What do you mean, this thing?
Yes.
That's what I'm going to do with these freaking trees. Look, I'm
Trust
scratching
yourself.
them. They're horrible. I can't get the shape of them. They're really making me angry.
I'll talk to you later, Bonnie.
All right. Talk to you later.